Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston, Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We've got a great show lineup for Friday. All kind of giveaways. You're going to get a live report from the Caravel. So all kind of things going on, good things. And our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. High today, 81, low 70. Water temperature, 83 degrees. So it's really gotten up there. The river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood, home of good fresh seafood. We're looking there. I have a market there, too. If you don't want to go there and eat, they got a great fresh seafood market. Looking at the river reading at the Apalachicola Bluntstown, right at 10 foot. And as you know, it's going to be going up. And the Choctawhatchee Caravel, it's right at 10 foot. And both rivers are high, so if you're going to be on any part of the river system now, the creeks, all the feeder creeks up in the sloughs, it's going to be high. And it's going to be rising, so just be aware of that. And watch out for floating logs and stuff like that. Don't be going too fast. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Again, we're talking about neap tides, but we do have a little bit of a low tide at 12 and high at 8 o'clock in the morning. So then another low. The neap tides, you sort of have 3 tides, but it's just not much movement at all. But the wind now becoming south-southwest at about 10 to 15. So we be dodging around on weather and just, we're going to supposed to be fishing in the morning. We just don't know when you're going to be able to fish. So you really got to just watch out for those storms. It's not like a big wave coming in, just, they're popping up all over the place. So let's take our break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. And on the phone, we have Captain Kim from Sea Quarters Marina. We're going to get a report on what's going on down there. In spite of all this weather, they're catching some fish. Good morning, Captain Kim.
Good morning, Mr. Chester. Boy, are they ever catching some fish over here. We're not worried about a little tropical storm right now. It's gorgeous. The weather's beautiful, and they're catching all kinds of grouper and, of course, snapper that you can't keep. But stretch 30s are real popular. We're loaded up with those. And Captain Scott went out yesterday and caught a bunch of sea bass. Those are all good eating.
Wow.
Captain Tim went out yesterday. I think he loaded up on some good sea bass and grouper. And they've got, we had a hook and ladder tournament this last weekend for the burn camp up there in Tallahassee. And they went crazy with the kingfish. There's a 40-some pounder and a 50-some pounder, so the kingfish are here.
Wait a minute, you said a 40-pounder and a 50-pounder?
Yes, sir, I got pictures.
Oh, my goodness, send me the picture. We need to save that one out. You need to put that one in the pool or something. We'll catch him again in August and win the tournament.
I hope so, yeah.
Wow, that's really big for this time of the year.
Certainly is, yeah. They've been catching all kinds of pompano and everything around here, so we're doing real good fishing-wise.
Okay, so the pompano fishing has been really good down there.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
It's been a good run up here, too, Captain Kim. It's been really, really good season for pompano. Okay, the redfish and trout, how are they looking?
They've been doing pretty good with those, too. Most of the guys in the last week or so have been really going for the pompano and the mackerel and grouper, so they've been hot and heavy with those. There's not been too much going on in the river here as far as just fishing off the shore and stuff like that, and most of it's been going offshore, I think, because the weather's been so pretty.
Oh, wow. Well, that sounds really good. We're going to try to get down as soon as we can. That's a great report, Captain. Thank you so much.
Sounds good, Mr. Chester. You have a great weekend.
All right. We'll see you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Folks, you're talking about catching a 40-pounder or something, 40-plus pounder this time of year, but then you catch a 50-pounder on the same weekend, that's strong, and that's just some excellent fishing. I know probably all get tired of me talking about it and everything, but it's just really special, good fishing down that way. So anyway, if it's that good now, can you imagine this fall when we made that fall run? There'll be 120-pound king caught. Now, okay, I wanted, let's see, a couple things that I was going to go over. One of the things, Highland Park Elementary School, a fellow I've known for a long time, he's passed away now. I'm going to show you a picture. This is Charlie Hendricks. He's in my book, and Charlie just a special fellow. He was a fellow PE teacher at Highland Park Elementary, and he absolutely loved fishing. I won't read you the whole story, but he basically came down from Birmingham. Let me tell you, in the 1940s, he was 6 years old. He remembered his parents bringing him down here, like so many people from Alabama, and he just fell in love with fishing, fished with A.R. Holly on the Magic City, which was, name of Birmingham. and it was a really cool experience. So he decided to move down here in '73, became a PE teacher at Highland Park Elementary. His wife, Sybil, they were very active in the St. Andrew Baptist, and Sybil taught at Mosley with me, and I had a daughter in my class, and just good quality people. I mean, first-class people, do anything in the world for you. And Charlie started a little fishing tournament over at Highland Park Elementary. And, but I want to show you, you remember I tell you I have my students do all kind of projects for me. Well, Joy, his sweet daughter, I had her in class, and they custom made me this rod right here. That was her project in outdoor ed class, and Charlie helped her do it. But this is just one of my prized possessions, and I snapper fish with it and also catch Spanish or whatever, but I just love this. And it's autographed right down here, Coach Chester snapper stick and all that. So that's special. That's the kind of people they were. Well, Charlie started this little fishing tournament at Highland Park Elementary, and Charlie passed away back, he retired, and shortly after, and he loved to fish with Bobo Hobbs. I mean, they fished, he fished, when I'm talking about fishing now, he went all the time. Excellent fisherman. You see the picture here, that's the biggest fish ever caught off the Holly boat, ever caught, and Charlie Hendricks caught it. But anyway, Charlie retired and passed away in, I think, 2012, and had that fishing tournament going, but his legacy continued because his staff, Coach Breland and those people at Highland Park Elementary kept that fishing tournament going. And I was so proud to see that, and I want to just, what is so cool, I don't want to thank the staff and administration and all the folks who just keep that tournament going. I'm going to try to, I just saw some pictures of it, if I can find them, but what was cool, and I say I can't find them right now, but I'm going to come back, I'll come back to the pictures and all, but it was really, really good stuff. The winners each year, but you're talking about keeping a legacy, that's what's cool. I got it right here. Here it is right here. All right, here's Highland Park Elementary. Welcome, awesome PE students. Look at those fishing trophies, okay? Isn't that cool? And Highland Park Fishing Tournament. I'm just so proud. And here, look, here are the prizes. They won. This is, they just finished it up. Now they take pictures and all. It's really just a neat sort of an honor system kind of thing. And they send pictures in, and the parents sort of help out. And here are the winners. Of course, I don't have everybody's name, but Coach Breland, administration, and all the folks help out. I want to give a special thank you all for continuing that legacy and tradition of that little simple fishing tournament that Charlie Hendricks started years ago, just because he had a simple love of fishing and loved kids. And he had left, what a legacy. And we talk about, you know, some things you can do, different things for your school and outdoor stuff. You know, here he did that, and continues going. That's just special to me, and I hope you appreciate that too. I know a lot of you folks have Highland Park Elementary ties, and you know what I'm talking about when we're talking about Coach Hendricks, okay? Now, let's give a prize away. Oops. Okay, start up. We're going to give a prize away. The first prize, of course, is going to be to Sandhill Seafood for that big seafood platter. And the winner is going to be, let me dig them out of here. It's going to be Stephanie Lambert from Freeport. Good folks up there in Freeport, Stephanie and Lambert. Okay, let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I got one picture here. This is Johnny Somerset. Okay, Johnny catching some nice, look here, it's supposed to be working, but look here, it's raining, so he's gonna go fishing. Good job. Johnny had an amazing day right there. We've got a unique weekend coming up as far as, there's a low pressure area coming in. We've talked about it. I started thinking, I've always wanted to do this. I'm just going to take my time and tell you this story because the low pressure area makes you think about the hurricane season, which is right around the corner. And I just want to share this opal story with you. I've mentioned pieces of it. I'm going to try to give you the whole story, and then we're going to come back with our fishing report. And this happened in, I can remember it very well, the first Wednesday in October of 1995 is when Hurricane Opal hit. And the reason I can remember it, because Gail and I were up in Nashville, Tennessee, and Wendy was working for the CMA, the Country Music Association. She had a great job there, and only like 20 people worked there, and she had a really good job. When she graduated from college, she got a job there. And you're talking about getting some privileges and all. I don't have, that's another show to talk about, but I'd literally get a backstage pass, and I'd run into, I'd tell Alan Jackson, I don't have time to talk to you because Dolly's over here. I'm going to go talk to Dolly Parton. It was all kind of, but anyway, really cool stuff. But we're up there, and I've always, I live on the water up there in North Bay, and as you know, and I'd always gotten ready for all the storms and all the wolf, crying wolf and all, we'd gotten ready for it. But this time I was up there in Tennessee, and Opal was in the Gulf, and You got to remember now, one of the coolest things about it, we're always prepared so well. But here I was 10 hours away, and I saw it coming, and I knew I was helpless. So that, I'll never forget, that Wednesday afternoon about 2:30 or 3 o'clock, and I remember well because the first time I ever used a cell phone, okay? Wendy with the CMA, they had cell phones. It was a little bit bigger. It was bigger than this. But I was in the auditorium, and they were doing a dress rehearsal for that night. They did it live, the CMA award show. It's always the first Wednesday, so I'm all excited about that. And Wendy brings me a cell phone, so I called my buddy here, Tim Jennings, and he said, Winston, it don't look good. And I said, you're not gonna believe it. I'm talking on a cell phone in the auditorium of the Grand Ole Opry, looking at so-and-so. And but there's nothing, I said, nothing I can do. So I called Chip, my son, and of course he'd gone over there, and they were putting stuff upstairs and all. He and his roommate, his buddy, he had a buddy from New York State, and they lived at the beach, but they came out there and started packing stuff up. Well, long story short, Opal hit. I got up the next morning and I saw on CNN it had hit, and I couldn't, there was no way to call anybody back then as far as landlines the next day. So anyway, the damage, we didn't know what damage, so we jumped in the car, headed back, and on the way back, we were able to call from Montgomery. We found a payphone and called Ben and Marcia forehand, and she said, it just don't look good, Winston. And so we came back and got home about right around 6-ish, 5-ish or 6-ish, and we drove up in our driveway. I never will, it's an unforgettable picture. It looked like a bomb had exploded in a house. I mean, the house is still standing. It was a brick house, but it was just windows torn out and everything. And what happened, Opal had hit, and it hit square on. And what happened is the waves that come over this knocked everything crazy. And Gail and I, we got out of the car and we walked, and we stood there in the driveway, stunned, in shock. And it was such an eerie feeling. No one was in the neighborhood. No one was there. And the sun had set, and there was sort of a reddish, goldish tint in the sky. It was almost like a movie scene, and all of a sudden, Gail just broke down and started crying, and we stood there in the driveway and held each other. And you know, because that was our dream home. I said, honey, we're gonna build this back. You wait and see. So with heavy hearts, we'll go over to our friend's house and spend the night that night. Get up that next morning on Friday morning, and with a very heavy workload ahead of us, just to clean up was just unimaginable. Well, we get there we spend the night with Ben and Marcia forehand, and we'll get over there that morning, just the four of us, and all of a sudden a truck pulls up there in the driveway, and a buddy of mine, hey, I'm gonna come help you clean up. And man, we were just dreading all. And then 5 minutes later, here comes another car. Here comes somebody else. And within 1 hour, I went out there and we looked around. There was like 18 vehicles out parked in the road out there, friends of ours that all come to help us. We didn't call anybody, but word got out that we were in trouble. So it went from one of the most heartbreaking days of our life to one of the most heartwarming days. And we spent to see all these friends coming. So what I want to tell you from all of this, and I had Chip and his high school friends came out, old Gene McGuire and all those big old strong boys, and man, we threw stuff out. We got so much done in a couple of days, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience to go through that. But my point I want to get to you is when something like that hits, a couple of things I want to leave you with. The force of nature is unimaginable unless you just actually see it. It's hard. I know you see it on TV and all, but to see what it does physically, so never underestimate that. And the other thing I want to leave you with, what friends will do when a friend is in need, and we certainly were in need that particular time in October of 1995, and all of a sudden, what blessings we had. And people just came back, and the ladies brought food out and all, and it was just an unforgettable time. It took months and months to get back to normal, but we had tremendous help. And what was fascinating, and also, we had one buddy of mine, he ran out there that first morning. He wanted to know if any boats had been washed up, and he didn't help us. He was just looking for himself, trying to find some old boats that had been washed up. So you're going to have about 90-some% of people helping, and you're going to have some people that's all about me and what can I get out of it. So that, I never will forget that either, but I was not surprised at this particular person doing that. So, but what I want to leave you with, a lot of folks have moved in since that time, and that was a unique time. So be aware when the authorities say it's time, get on out of here, get on out of here. And they really mean it. I tickled Chip and them, his story, they were trapped in the house, actually trapped. And the waves started hitting, and they couldn't leave. They ran upstairs, and we had waves white capping inside of our living room. He busted out the doors, and and he tried to knock the door down. He's 220 pounds, and a wave hit him, knocked him flat, and he ran upstairs, and both their vehicles got flooded and totaled. And it was amazing. His buddy was originally from New York State, and he ended up, about a month later, he moved back to New York State. He didn't want to live down here with that. So I just want to share that with you. It's wonderful, as scary and all and heartbreaking as it was, it really turned out wonderful. So anytime you get a chance to help a friend and all, it can become unforgettable like that. So just be aware of what can happen when these storms hit. And I'm working on some other stuff too, as far as getting prepared for storms, especially people on the waterfront, because it's a unique thing. I just want to share that story. I left out a lot of it. It's a good long story as far as the details. We ended up, during the cleanup that day, we ended up catching a fish in our living room. There's actually, let me tell you that story real quick. All the guys, the ladies were doing some stuff, and the guys were doing the heavy stuff, and we just made a fire chain line to go out into the yard, and it was just, everything, if you can imagine everything in the house, just rolled up and pushed in the corner. It was like just all bare here and way over there, everything stacked up. So we just started taking stuff and passing it out. So I put Chip, he was the youngest and strongest, I put him at the point in case any snakes or anything like that, and been washed up. I figured he could jump out of the way and fight them better than I could. So he'd grab something and pass it, and all of a sudden, we just had it going, had stuff going out in the yard, just throwing stuff out like that. All of a sudden, he reached in there, he jumped. When he jumped, it was like a domino effect. We all jumped and looked back, and what it was, he'd picked up a sofa cushion, okay? As he picked it up, on the back side of it, something flipped out at him, and he thought it was a snake coming at him, and that's why he jumped. It was actually a catfish that had a dorsal fin that stuck in the cushion. So when he picked up the cushion, the catfish sort of flipped back at him too. So anyway, everybody just stopped, got a huge laugh off of it, and he and I posed with, and I said, we took a picture, and this is a true fish story. Okay, we actually caught this fish in our living room. True story. So anyway, I just want to share that with you. That's part of my life. The first time I ever used a cell phone too. So anyway, so be prepared and do what I say. We got to move on now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that long, but I did want to share a real life experience. The winner of the Big Red Snapper is going to be, $20 gift certificate first, right? It's going to be Jim Fields from Bluntstown. Big pompano fisherman, Mr. Fields up there in Bluntstown. And the red snapper is going to be Daryl Weeks from Greenhead. All right, that's the two winners there. Now we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us. We're talking about going from Carabel to over to Destin. That's the Florida Panhandle as far as we cover here on Panhandle Outdoors, and there's some really cool stuff in between. I want to just quickly go over some stuff. We do a famous Friday fishing forecast, but at the same time, we try to do a report, and then we do the forecast. So sometimes we don't break it down as good as we need to. On the actual report this week's have been good. Great report on AJs. Really good AJs being caught. Some cobia being caught. You saw PJ Ernie Hooper boy catching that nice cobia. We also had some good week on triggerfish and mahi. Actually had some chicken mahi, what we call chicken dolphin, caught off the pier this week in between the bad weather. And there was so fishing went pretty good this week compared to the weather. So the reports, and then you heard the report down in Carabel last weekend, a 40-pound king mackerel, a 50-pound king mackerel. So it's been a pretty doggone good week considering what we faced. Now, let's go to the forecast of what we're looking for this week. We're planning to be over in the bar and to do some fishing over there, if weather permitting. And we just want, we got a 7 o'clock, we're meeting at 7 o'clock, and we're probably not going to decide until about 6:55 whether or not we're going out. And the first thing I look at, of course, we look at the radar. Not necessarily the rain, but we just look for the lightning that's embedded in the storm. That's the only thing that's the big thing right there that sort of keeps us out of there. So the big deal is what it's going to do. In this low pressure area, like I said, it's not going to be a big storm as far as heavy winds and all, but you've been watching the weather. It's going to just sort of come through there, and maybe Sunday's going to be the worst day. So we'll see. Okay. Also on the forecast, I did have a. Now remember, grouper season will be closing down there in the 4-county area. It's going to be opening up next Friday in this area here. So groupers coming in, and that's some really good stuff. The tarpon. When I see June coming, first thing I think about tarpon. Now it's tarpon time. The first, tarpon are going to be coming in here, and it's going to be some tarpon going to be caught soon. So tarpon fishing, and people talking about tarpon fishing and with all the different places you can go, but one of the best places to go is off the tip of the, right here, off the tip of the Cape right in here, and also along Crooked Island, all through here, and of course the boys going to be coming out of Destin, coming back up in here, Destin area, and also off of Dog Island down here, okay? So we got that, and also have had, when you're fishing like this weekend, we look to stay close to shore, and you look for a window. What I call look for a window of time, and that you can get out there. All of a sudden it breaks up, and say you only got an hour or two, so you can run there pretty close by, catch some redfish or trout or flounder, and then you look on the radar, you look on this horizon, and you see some coming, and get back in. And so also know what the wind's going to be doing. I call it a wind in the window. You know the wind's going to be coming out of south-southwest with that low pressure system. It's going to be spinning around, so it'll be coming up into here in this direction here. So fishing in areas where it's not going to be heavy. As far as freshwater fishing, got a big brim tournament tomorrow. You're just going to have to get up in those sloughs. The best way to catch those brim now, you're going to get up in those sloughs. You're not going to be able to catch them in the main channel. And it's going to be interesting to see what the results of the big tournament tomorrow, the brim tournament, and it's going to be fascinating to see. There'll be some folks coming in without 10 brim, and then others will be weighing them in. But we'll get the pictures for you anyway and get it covered. And it's going to be, if nothing else, go down there and get some good fresh food, and it all goes to a good cause. Okay, we're going to run out of time. I was a little longer in my other one, but it's still going to be, the captains are still going to try to fish, but the wind's going to be, one of them told me he's going to feel like he'll be going around in a circle with the winds coming in different directions and all. So, but they're going to be fishing, with the wind coming this way, they're going to be fishing on the shoreline all through in this area here. You see the shorelines and all the areas, even in the Choctawhatchee Bay. Choctawhatchee's going to be bringing some muddy water down, and it's going to be some muddy fishing, but I think some of y'all are going to catch some fish. I hope I'm one of them. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Been a great week here. Got a great week coming up. We got Memorial Day coming up Monday, but we'll be here. So you have a great day, a great weekend. Do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the great outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.